Hey team, I thought it's probably too big an event not to share a bit of a video of our 2024 Sydney Hobart experience. Starting with the crew, we've got our noble skipper, Jean-Pierre. He's a legend. We've got Dylan here. He was managing all the tight tactics around the start lines. Sam and Anna, general workhorses and kite trim. Jacques, the boss. He's a never-ending form of energy. Jack, our bowman. Could not fault this man. The sturdy vessel we're on here is a Sunfast 3300, really designed for double-handed offshore racing, but chuck a crew of young, energetic people on there and she can really do some crazy shit. The build-up in Sydney was absolute glamour weather. We're got a nice bit of chill time to go and cruise around the harbour a bit. We had tons of family and friends coming in every day, trying to sink the boat. Here just drinking champagne and eating good food. And yeah, then it was race day. Dylan absolutely killed it on the tactics on the start line. I think we were pretty close to first off the line on our line 3, on the favoured end as well. So that got us into a good position and got morale high off the go. It's pretty cool being out there in the harbour, just surrounded by 100 different race boats, just black sails everywhere. You can see out in the distance the big Maxis battling it out. But yeah, as we were kind of warned, we didn't get much time to look around. It's pretty full on, just dodging the other boats and just sort of trying to control the nerves, I guess, to get it all underway and get started without any hiccups. Yeah, I'll let you can watch the start here if you want, or you can skip it forward a couple of minutes if you want to skip past that stuff. made it out of the heads here, and we're just on a bit of a reach out to a final ocean mark, and then once we round that, we're going to pop our big kite up and start sending it down the water. It's a pretty awesome feeling to sort of see the back of the Sydney heads there and know that our next stop is Hobart, is home. So this is pretty much us for that first afternoon. As you can see there, it's not too hectic at all. Wind was sort of 15, maybe 20 knots from the northeast. We had our big square kite up, and you can see the little baby kite just sitting underneath it there. And yeah, very, very nice sailing. Everyone was super chill. We managed to kind of get some people down on rest and just start settling in. Pretty epic here, just seeing how many kites and other boats are around us. Yeah, that's obviously just coming straight out of the heads. And then yeah, you can see there just how Hip-Nautic just loves being sort of up in the plane a bit there. Completely different experience from Espion or any of our displacement hulls that we've been sailing a lot. And yeah, just trucking along nicely there at what, 12 knots. But as we all knew was coming, things were about to get a lot more hectic. Yeah, I'll let you listen to a little bit of this audio. That's us just hooking along, doing sort of sustained 18 knots downwind. We've got 30 knots of wind up the bum, probably 2 reefs in the main and A5 up, small SSL. And yeah, it was pretty hectic to say the least. We're all just sort of on deck in survival mode. Yeah, and it was pretty scary over this night, just listening to some of the talk on the VHF and reading some reports coming in about what was going on in some of the other boats, and just so sad what happened to the couple of guys that lost their lives, and sort of being out there in those same conditions they were in, and hearing some of the doctors and that talking on VHF about how to try and resuscitate these patients and then failing to do so was really quite sobering. And yeah, I guess kind of puts it all really into perspective, I guess, as to just how dangerous it is to be out there. And yeah, I guess how grateful we are that no one got injured on our side of things, and we kept the boat in one piece. But far out, what a serious night of sailing for so many people, and will definitely go down in the memory banks as one of the more gnarlier ocean experiences I've had, that's for sure. And so I think this is sort of coming into the next morning after that real hectic night. No one slept, and we knew that this big front was coming in. We started to see some lightning in the distance, and then yeah, boom, just this sheet lightning just starts lighting up the sky. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. It's always, in fact, I think it was the last time we were crossing the Bass Strait, we were surrounded by lightning bolts as well, so it always kind of has you on edge a bit when you're out in the ocean. But it sort of, yeah, it didn't affect us at all. And we carried on sailing into this front, and so we've still got the wind kind of really dying off behind us here. I think we're pretty underpowered by the looks of it for A5 and 2 reefs in the main, but we knew this front was 10 minutes away from hitting us, so we kept on going as it was, and then yeah, sure enough, wind died and came round in the nose and started to absolutely punish us. And by punish us, I mean, well, this is what it looks like. So we had, right on the nose, so it's coming. We're trying to get ourselves around the sort of southeastern tip of Australia here. We're sort of a bit further up the coast than we would have liked to have been when the southerlies hit. So yeah, we're sort of beating into this. I guess it was 25 to sometimes gusting up to 35, 40 knot headwinds. As you can see, the seas aren't huge there, but they're really confused because we've had this strong northerly, which picked up to sort of 2 or 3 metre swells from the north, and then that's just been confronted by this strong southerly. So you can imagine those two opposing seas just battling it out to create a real washing machine effect, as you can see on the boat here. That put a couple of the crew, including myself, down with seasickness for some time, and it's actually a very unpleasant experience. But we pushed through and managed to keep rotating the crews through their roles and positions, and just kept battling, and it was a real relief to make it into the Bass Strait and be able to crack the sheets a bit and not be punching into it. There's sort of a bit of video that's kind of missing here. I think crew fatigue, seasickness, all of that, putting the GoPro on kind of takes a bit of a second priority when that stuff's going on, so I can talk you through it. But we got round into the Bass Strait, as I was saying, and the Bass Strait crossing itself was relatively benign. We had winds on the nose to start with, and then sort of easing off, and the sea was relatively slight. It was really the second half, or the last third of the crossing, where it started to get quite hectic. We were on more of a broad reach, so the wind was coming on our starboard beam, coming out of the Bass Strait and wrapping around islands like Flinders and through the Banks Strait, and creating some pretty heavy conditions for reaching. We were often quite overpowered and just flying along, and really uncomfortable motion on the boat, just a lot of slamming. And another thing is we'd lost our wind direction instruments at this point, so we actually didn't know which way the wind was coming from our instruments. We had to do it all flying blind, or just basically looking at the sails and figuring it out from there, which is quite hard at night. And then once again, things are looking up here. We're coming down the coast. We've got one of our big sails up, big spinnakers, and smiles are happening. And what have we got there? Looks like the A4. Oh yeah, you can see a rip in it as we hoisted it here. We got it bound up on one of the battens of the jibs, and sadly put a rip in it, but nothing that couldn't be repaired. We've got our skipper there wearing his skull and crossbones mask, looking like a badass, and Jack and Anna on the trim. And here's a little clip of our kitchen.
There, babe. What's on the menu?
You could either have a succulent Chinese meal of honey soy chicken.
Yeah,
I've had that. It
yep.
sucks.
Who wants some nice freeze-dried?
Yeah,
Can't say we had too much, to be honest, on the trip, but we had enough food stores to make it through. And I think nutrition's a real challenging one when you're out there and just in survival mode. And so anything, different options, sweet, salty, hot, cold, anything you can get into is always going to help. That's our sort of little setup there. Oh, the Dogmaster. Yeah, so this was by far the culinary highlight of the trip. You can see we're kind of becalmed there off the east coast of Tassie somewhere, and hot dogs are on. There's Jack, our fearless bowman. these are very benign conditions for Jack out there right now. I really take my hat off to him for some of the missions he did out on the bow in those heavy weathers, and yeah, never put a foot wrong out there, so cheers Jack. And yeah, here we are coming back round into familiar waters. We got Yanni in the distance there, and everyone's out on the rail. Sadly I missed the helicopter photos, I was sleeping, but I regret that for life. But yeah, coming up back into the Derwent was just spectacular. We had heaps of friends coming out on their boats, great wind through it, and an awesome battle to get us home. And then yeah, the victory parade lap coming back into the harbour was awesome. And then we kind of docked up and had a whole bunch of friends and family meet us. The race organisers come along with a slab of icy cold beers, and someone brought about 50 kilos of hot chips for us, and we sat there and just sort of, yeah, basked in glory and satisfiedness of completing the Sydney to Hobart, which was a fucking awesome achievement, which I think we will no doubt treasure for life. So yeah, thanks for following along, and look forward to talking to you all more in person about it if you're keen to hear, but hopefully the video helped give you a bit of context.